The collaborative partnership of four of the UK's leading ethically sourced gemstone suppliers brought its shimmering produce to Edinburgh. The fair saw gemstones available that offer full provenance and ethical sourcing, which means that jewellery designers were able to view and purchase with the complete assurance of responsible mining and production, a crucial inclusion for an industry with a somewhat troublesome historic worldwide reputation.
So look, I bring 4 gemstones to the UK, piece of boulder opal. So we have boulder opal, we have sapphires, we have chrysoprase, and we have zircon. The other sellers in the room bring products from all around the world. We have Stuart over here, we have Kathy and Myra. They're bringing pieces from Brazil, from East Africa, from Sri Lanka. And all of these gemstones are traceable, and they've all been ethically mined. So that means we have the full story on the background of each and every gem that's in this room. And that's very different than most other gemstone sellers that in many cases really don't have a clear understanding of the provenance of their gemstones. In our case in Australia, I mean, given that I live there, given it's a Western country, it's not that difficult to get the provenance information. I mean, I go to the mining areas. I mean, whereas Stuart, Kathy and Myra perhaps have a little bit more of a challenge because they bring gems from other parts of the world. But they spend time in those parts of the world as well, sourcing product, working with their contacts there to make sure that the gems have a full provenance and we understand clearly the source of where those gems are from. The younger demographic is requesting and in fact even demanding more of the story behind the piece of jewellery, the metal that's being used, the product, how the metal's being used, the processes in the studio, and also obviously the traceability and source of the gemstones. Yes, very, very much so. And a lot of designers are actually incorporating that into their narrative as well. So they're differentiating themselves in the market by having all of that information available to their clients.
So in Sri Lanka, I think we're very fortunate again because mining has been going on there for literally hundreds of years. And so they have a very well-established and well-regulated structure. So it's possible to, for example, be a legal miner. So there's a process there which, so you can be in a formalised structure as a mining operation. And there are people there, there's a government agency that monitors the mining of the stones, and they enforce rules such as land restoration once the mining projects have completed. Obviously things like child labour, so they're monitoring the people working at the mine sites. So there's a really good framework there. And so we were quite fortunate that we can go there and we can do things very transparently, very legally. And it was quite a straightforward introduction into the world of coloured gemstone mining for us. In Tanzania, it is slightly more problematic. They are a nation that is slightly newer to gemstone mining, and so they don't necessarily have all of the framework, and they're building on that. But what that means is that we get some great opportunities now to work with them to implement some of the good practice that we understand from other places, but also to develop even better practice for them than might exist in other gem-producing nations. So it's it's a really exciting time there that the government and the miners are able to look at ways in which they can formalise themselves, do things better, and improve the situation for everyone in the supply chain.
Well, let's just say there's a lot of greyness in the industry still. There's a lot of issues and misunderstandings, I suppose. What we're trying to do is just in our little world make a difference by doing what we do, and then I guess as a good example to the rest of the industry to perhaps follow suit. But there are a whole lot of other designers out there wanting to do the best as well, the best they possibly can in making the product, in sourcing the products, using recycled gold or fair trade or fair mine gold to actually bring the product to the market that makes a difference.
Ian also explained how an Edinburgh art school has introduced one of the UK's first course modules on ethics. Good news for those looking to ensure that the next generation strive ethically to find their diamond in the rough. Ian McNally, That's TV.